Hello everyone. I am so excited to bring you guys this crochet wrap top tutorial. It's something that's been in my head for a while now, so it's very exciting to finally be able to bring it to all of you guys. But before I go into the tutorial, I actually have an announcement that is going to benefit all of you out there. So today I am doing a giveaway with lovecrafts.com, and they kindly gifted me all of this Paintbox Cotton DK yarn that I am using in this video today. So with them, I am giving away 10 skeins of this Paintbox Cotton DK yarn so you guys can make a wrap top of your own. So be sure to stay tuned till the very end of the video for all of the details on how to enter the giveaway. And with that, let's just get right into the video. Alright guys, so today for our wrap top, you are going to need 2 different colors of cotton DK yarn. I'm using Paintbox here, which is, let's see, it is going to be 50 grams, okay, so about 137 yards. And I used a total of 4 skeins for this top, which is a size small. You are also going to need a 3.5mm crochet hook, a tape measure, a pair of scissors, and then of course a darning needle. Alright, so for today's pattern, I am actually going to break it down into 3 separate parts. So we are going to start out with part 1, which is going to be the back of our wrap top, and as you can see here by my little drawing, it's just going to be a plain rectangle. So to get our starting chain measurement to start making this, what you're going to want to do is take a tape measure and measure across your shoulders like I am doing in the clip that I will insert right here. Okay, so once you have that measurement, as you can see here, that is going to be how wide our back piece is going to be. So what we're going to do to start is take that measurement and make our starting chain with it. So let's move all of this out of place and we will get right into making our top. So I'm going to use my yellow yarn for my starting chain. So what we want to do is first create a slip knot. And you want to take that measurement that you just took across your shoulder, and that is going to be the measurement for our starting chain. So for the starting chain, we need to make sure that it is in multiples of 3 plus 1 at the end for our checkers. So for me, that is going to be a total of 61 chains. So 60 is going to be our multiple of 3 plus 1 at the end. And that for me is going to reach about 12 inches. So I'm going to continue making my chain right here, and then I will come on back and we'll show you how to get started. So I just finished chaining my 61 and I gave it a little stretch as well. And then once I put it down, it should be just about 12 inches long. It's okay if it's a little bit under or a little bit over. You just need to make sure that it is in multiples of 3 plus 1. Alright, and if you have not watched my checker pattern video already, pause this video and go check it out. I'll link it over here. Okay, so we are on to row 1. Now for row 1, we are going to immediately start making our checkers, which is just going to be 3 half double crochets and alternating colors all the way down. So it's really pretty simple. Now this chain 1 at the beginning here is going to count as our turning chain, which means our first half double crochet is going to be worked in that second chain from the hook right here. So I'm going to yarn over, insert into that second chain, yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through all 3. So that's going to be our first stitch of the 3. So we'll go into the second chain right here, and that will be our second stitch. Alright, and now we're on the very last stitch right here, which is where we're going to change color. So I will yarn over, insert into that chain, and make sure you're only going into the top loop right there. Then yarn over, pull through just that first loop. And now I'm going to drop my yellow yarn and pick up my white yarn. And I'm just going to take the white yarn like so, grab it with my hook, grab it with my hook and then pull through all 3 loops on my hook. And that is how we change color. So now what we're going to do is work with the white yarn right here, and we've already dropped our yellow yarn. So as you can see, there's a little tail right here, and then our yellow yarn as well. So we want to weave both of these in with our project. So I am going to yarn over, insert into the very next chain right here, making sure both of those ends are over top of the hook, as you can see, but still under the working yarn. Then I will yarn over, pull through, and then yarn over, pull through all three. So that will be one. Do the same thing in the next chain. And now we're coming onto the third stitch again, which means I will yarn over, insert into that third chain, yarn over, pull through, and now we're going to drop that white yarn, which is actually just going to pull that over the top of the yellow, just so it's not going to get tangled. Then I will pick up my yellow yarn and pull through all three loops on my hook. Alright, so now we're back to making a yellow checker. Again, make sure you're weaving in both the yarn that you're not working with and this tail end. So we're going to make 1 half double crochet, 2, and then 3. But again, don't finish the third one. So then we'll drop the yellow yarn and pick up the white and yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Alright, and we're going to continue alternating every third half double crochet until we are all the way back at the end of row 1. Alright, let me get that last one right there. Then we'll drop the white, pick up the yellow. There we go, yarn over, pull through. So continue alternating every third half double crochet until you are all the way at the end of row 1. And once we are all back here, I will come back and show you how to do row 2. So I am now back at the very end of row 1, and before going on to row 2, instead of changing color on the very last half double crochet like we have been doing, we are just going to finish it off with the same color. So we'll yarn over and pull through all 3. And the reason we are doing this is because our checkers are going to be 3 half double crochets wide and 2 rows tall. So for row 2, we are going to be just making the exact same colors all the way down. So white, yellow, all the way down on row 2. So what I'm going to do is chain up 1, and then I'm going to flip my work. So we want to make sure that we are also bringing up with us the yarn that we are not working on. So I'm just going to kind of hold it right up here, and that's just so we are continuously weaving it in. Now this chain 1 does not count as a stitch, this is just going to be our turning chain. And that means we're going to make our first half double crochet in this very first stitch right here. So I'll yarn over, insert, again make sure we're picking up that other color, the yellow yarn. Then I'll yarn over, pull through. That'll be the first one. Second, and then our third one, we will start that half double crochet, we'll drop our white, pick up our yellow, and then yarn over, pull through all 3 to change color. So I'm just going to continue doing this all the way down row 2, and as you can see, this is what a completed checker is going to look like. So it's going to be 3 half double crochet wide and 2 tall. So again, I'm going to continue doing this all the way down, changing every third stitch. And we are just mirroring what we did for row 1 on row 2. So continue doing this, and once you are done, I will meet you back at the very end. Alright, so I have just completed row 2, and this is what our checkers are looking like so far. So as you can see, I haven't finished off the very last half double crochet yet, and that is because we are going to change color now. So I have already dropped my yellow yarn and picked up my white yarn. So what you want to do is yarn over and pull through all 3 of those loops. And the reason that we are doing this is because we are going to now start alternating our checkers, which means instead of yellow, it's going to be white. So it's going to be a white checker, yellow checker, white checker, yellow checker, all the way down, so that we're going to get that alternating look. So what I'm going to do now is chain up 1 and flip our work so we can start on row 3. Again, remember to always bring up the yarn you are not working on. And again, that chain 1 is not going to count as a stitch, so I'm going to make our first half double crochet in that very first stitch here. So 1, 2, and then start the third one. Drop your white yarn, pick up your yellow, or whichever color you're using, and then yarn over, pull through all 3. Okay, so the next 3 we are going to be making the yellow checker. Start it, drop it, pick up your other yarn, and then pull through all 3. So you're just going to keep alternating the colors all the way down row 3. Okay, so once I am at the very end and you are at the very end, I will come back and meet you there. For the end of row 3, we're going to do the same thing that we did for the end of row 1, which is just finish off that very last half double crochet with the exact same color. And the reason we're doing this again is because our checkers are going to be 2 rows tall, which means I'm going to need another row of yellow half double crochet, white half double crochet, yellow, just so that the checkers are complete. So I will chain up 1 for row 4, flip my work, make sure we're bringing up the other yarn as well, and then we're just going to really repeat row 3, which means I would make 3 half double crochets of yellow, and then switch to white, and then switch to yellow all the way down again. So this is all we are going to be doing for part 1 for that back piece. So just keep alternating between rows 1 and 2, and then rows 3 and 4 until you are comfortable with the length of it. I made it just about 11 inches long, and this I set like right below my shoulders. Okay, so once I finish this top, it'll be about like an inch or 2 above my belly button. So if you want to make it longer or shorter, then just add or subtract rows as you feel necessary. Alright, so I have just about finished this first back piece, and I have done a total of 40 rows. So now the last thing that we are going to do is just yarn over and pull through that opposite color right there so that we get started for part 2. Alright, I'm going to explain to you guys how we're doing the straps really quick, and then we will be right back. Alright, so we are now on to part 2, and as you can see from my little picture right here, we are going to start doing our front panels as well as connecting them to our back piece. So let me show you really quick what that's going to look like. Alright, so we're going to be creating these 2 pieces right here, and then we are also going to be creating these little side pieces as well so that we can slip stitch it to the back of our top. Alright. Now that you guys have kind of seen what we're about to do, let's get started. So before I get into how to actually make the front panel, let me just go over the measurements really briefly. So my total front panel length is going to be about 16.5 inches right here. The first 4.5 inches are going to be for my shoulder, which is no increase or decrease on either side. And then the next 11 inches, so all the way until 15.5 inches, I'm going to be doing increases on the inside, and the increases will go from 2 half double crochet increases on the inside to 1 half double crochet increase on the inside, so it's kind of making a little slope. And then the last inch is going to be for my strap. Okay, so I will have this whole measurement breakdown in my blog post, which I will link down below. Give me about a week to get that written pattern out for you guys though. So now, without further ado, let's move on to actually creating these front panels. Alright, so we are back and ready for part 2. So what we are going to start doing first is the shoulder piece of our front panel, like I explained earlier. And I want mine to be just about, I'd say 2 to 2.5 inches wide, and that is going to be a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 checkers over. Okay, so all we're going to do is chain up 1, flip our work. That sounded funny. And we are just going to continue making our checkers until we hit the end of that 5th one. All right. Why am I using the white yarn? Okay, pick up the right yarn. And remember that chain one does not count as a stitch, so we're going to make our first half double crochet in the very first stitch. Okay, drop it and pick up the other one. Sorry for that jump cut, guys. So this is going to be the end of our first row one for the front panel. So what we're going to do now is yarn over and pull through with the same color yarn, and then I'm going to chain up one and flip my work. All right, and make sure you're bringing up the other piece of yarn as well. So now we're going to go back on the row the exact same way we just came. And we're obviously just finishing up the checkers here. Okay, and we're at the very last stitch right here. So like we've been doing before, now it's time to make our alternating checker. So we will grab the white yarn, pull through, and then chain up one, flip our work, and then repeat the process over again. So I am going to continue doing this until I have done 14 more rows. So this next row we would be doing would be row 3, or until I have 7 completed checkers. So once I'm done with that, I will come back and we will show you how to start increasing. Alright, so I just finished doing the shoulder portion of my front panel, and I did 14 rows in total, or 7 completed checker rows in total, whichever one you want to go by. So now it's time to start increasing on the inside of our panels. So let's pick up our work, let's focus that in. Alright, and we are going to switch color, so I'm going to yarn over, pull through the last 3 loops. We're going to chain up one, and then flip our work. So I'm just going to continue doing what we've been doing with our alternating checkers all the way down this row until we get to the very last stitch. Alright, so we are now back at the very last stitch right here, and we are going to put 2 half double crochets in this last stitch to begin increasing our top. So I'm going to start that last half double crochet, and because we've just worked 3 white half double crochets, we are going to switch to yellow. So I'm going to pick up my yellow yarn over and pull through all 3. And then I'm going to create 1 more yellow half double crochet in this very last stitch right here. Alright, so now I'm going to yarn over, pull through, and then I'm going to chain up 1. Alright, let's flip our work back around again. It's getting a little bit difficult to flip around. So now what we are going to do is put 2 half double crochets in this very first stitch right here. So I am going to yarn over, insert into the very first stitch, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3, and then I will do it one more time. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, and now again we're trying to complete all of our checkers, so that means I am going to pick up my white yarn, yarn over, pull through all 3 of those loops on the hook, and now we are going to complete our checkers all the way down the row. Okay, so the only thing that is different is going to be the increasing portion right here. So once I am done with this row, I will come back and show you guys how to continue with these increases. Alright, so I just got back down to the very opposite end, and now since our checkers are complete, our 2 rows are complete, we are going to change color. Alright, so then we will again chain up 1, flip our work back around. Oops, I lost it. Flip our work back around. It is getting twisted. And then we are going to continue to create our checkers, alternating all the way down until we get to that last that last stitch where we are going to put 2 half double crochets in. So I'm going to fast forward this part, don't worry. Alright, so I am back to the very last 2 half double crochets right here, but it is now time to switch color because we just finished our 3 yellow half double crochets. So let's grab that white, yarn over, pull through all 3, and then I want to make 1, and this is our very last stitch right here, if you can see. So we are going to make 2 white half double crochets in that very last stitch. So 1 and 2. Now normally we wouldn't be changing color here because we are trying to complete our checks, but because we are going to be making 2 half double crochets at the very beginning of this next row, we actually want to change this to yellow. Okay, so we'll chain up 1, flip our work, and the reason that I'm changing this one to yellow right here is because, as you can see, there's already 3 white half double crochets right here. So in keeping with the pattern, I'm going to make 1 yellow half double crochet, drop the yarn, pick back up the white, yarn over, pull through, and then I'm going to create again 3 white half double crochets. Oops, sorry about that. So this is going to come up a bunch in this pattern. Just with all of the increasing, you're going to get a lot of little things like that. So just know to always put 3 of the same color together. And if you're already, if you're at this point, then you're always going to change color, okay? So I will word that better in my blog post, so be sure to check that out. Alright guys, I'm going to continue doing these double increases until I hit 6 inches. So if you have a different back measurement than me, the back piece measurement, then what you're going to want to do is continue doing these double increases until you reach about the halfway point. But then after you reach that halfway point, I would go a little bit over, either by like a ½ inch or an inch. So for me, my halfway point would technically be 5.5 inches, but as I just said, I'm going to continue doing the double increases until I reach 6 inches. So come back once you are about done with this, and then I will show you how to finish off this front panel. Alright guys, so I just finished doing my double increase rows right here, and if I get my tape measure out and measure it, it's going to be just about 6 inches long, which is perfect. So I did a total of 10 rows of the completed checkers, or 20 rows in total. So now what we are going to do is make this increase a little bit less drastic. So instead of doing 2 half double crochets on each end and beginning of the new rows over here, we are just going to do it at the very beginning of each row. So what I mean by that is, let's pick up our work right here. Now I've already switched colors, as you can see. So what we're going to do is chain up 1 and then flip our work. Okay, so for this row, we are going to just place 1 half double crochet in each stitch all the way along. Okay, so that means we are just going to alternate colors all the way down until we get to the very end, and we are not increasing at this end, okay? We are just doing a normal row of half double crochet all the way down. So once I am at the very end, I will come back and show you what we're doing next. Alright, so I have just come to the very end of this row, and as you can see, we have 2 half double crochets left. So I am going to just make 1 half double crochet in each of those last stitches. Okay, so instead of doing 2 half double crochets in this very last stitch here, we are just doing 1. Alright, so now what we're going to do is chain up 1 and then flip our work. So this is when we are going to start doing our increases now at the very beginning of these rows. Okay, so I'm going to make 2 half double crochets in that very first stitch right there. So we'll go 1, 2, and then we will continue down as normal. All right, so this is going to be what you do all the way until you have reached your final measurement, which for me was 11 inches. So I am measuring from where I started the increase to where I finished the increase to get that measurement. So I'm gonna do a total of 5 inches of these, just the increase on the very beginning of the row, so that I finally get the measurement that I want. So I'm gonna continue doing this, and I will come back once more and show you guys how to do it one more time over here, how to do the increases, okay? All right, so I have already gone down and back over here just to show you guys how I do this increase one more time. So on this row right here, we are making only normal half double crochets all the way down. So no increases on this row, okay? And again, this is because this is the very end. And when I am referring to the end, I'm talking about the end on the inside of our top where we are increasing. So now what we are going to do is, because again, we have these 3 white half double crochets and we are going to increase at the beginning of the next row, we need to change color even though we haven't technically completed the checker yet. So I will yarn over, pull through the yellow yarn, and then we're going to flip our work. All right, and I am doing this again because we are increasing, which means we're going to have 4 total stitches right here instead of 3. So we are going to chain up 1, flip our work, and then we're going to place 2 half double crochet in the very first stitch. So there's 1. All right, and now we are getting ready for our 3 white half double crochets. So I am going to change color right here. All right, and make sure to get the second stitch for your increase. Okay, and that is all we are doing until, again, you reach whatever measurement you use for your back piece. So I'm going to continue with these slightly less dramatic increases. You can see right here, the slope starts going down just a little bit. So I'm going to continue doing this pattern with just the 1 increase on the beginning until I reach a total of 11 inches of increase. So once I am done with that, I will come back and we'll show you how to do the strap. All right, so I just finished doing my increasing portion. So if I grab my tape measure over here and I measure this out, I am just at 11 inches, which is perfect for me because that was the back piece measurement that I wanted to match. Now you guys want to make sure that you are ending on the outside portion rather than the inside portion over here. So if your measurement is a little bit over or below whatever your back piece measurement was, that is totally fine. Just make sure that you are ending on the outside. So now what we are going to do is move on to our straps, which we will be doing on the inside portion. So I've already gone ahead and changed my color and then chained up 1. So after you do that, you will want to flip your work over, and we are going to do normal half double crochets all the way down this row, okay? So starting in the very first stitch, okay, we yarn over, insert, just like that, okay? So just normal half double crochets alternating all the way down. So once I get back to the end over here, I will show you guys how we start the strap. All right, so I just got back to the other end of this row and it is now time to start our strap. So as you can see here, we're not doing any increases, we're just leaving 1 at the very end. So what we're going to do now is create a chain for however long you want your strap to be. My strap is going to be about 18.5 inches because I want it to be short enough so that it's not too long in the front if I'm tying it in the front, but also long enough so that I can tie it in a knot in the back. So however long you want your straps to be, you want to chain up to that measurement. So I am going to chain up, I believe 88. If it's a different number, I will put it in the video right now. And once I am done chaining, I will come back and I'll show you how we are going to get this strap started. Alright, so we've just completed our chain, and now what we are going to do is make a half double crochet in each chain all the way down. So we are going to start in the second chain from the hook. So we'll yarn over, insert, insert a top loop only, and make that half double crochet. And we're just going to keep doing this all the way down the chain until we get back to our front panel. So I'm going to finish this up real quick and I'll meet you guys at the end. Alright, so I'm almost all the way back down to the front panel piece. So now I'm going to make one more half double crochet in that very last chain. So make sure you're getting all of them. And now what we're going to do is just continue down this row with the normal half double crochets alternating. So 1, 2, 3, and then we would just switch to white and continue doing that all the way down to complete the checker. So once I am back at the end of this row, I will come and show you guys how we are going to continue on. Alright, so I am back at the very end right here, and we are about to change colors yet again. So we will pull through and then chain up one and flip our work. Alright, and all the way down this row, we're just going to continue doing the same thing. So we will make our half double crochet starting in the very first stitch. Okay, switch our color. And we'll continue doing that, alternating all the way down. And once you get back to this part right here, I will come back and show you what we are going to do with the strap. Alright, so I just got back to the very end, and now it is onto the strap again. So as you can see, we are already on our white checker, and we're just going to continue with the white all the way down. So in each half double crochet on the strap, we are going to make one half double crochet. And we are just going to continue doing this all the way down to the very end. So once you are done with this row, come on back so I can show you how we are going to finish up our strap. Alright, so I am back at the very end of our strap right here, and we still have one more stitch left. So what I'm going to do in this last stitch right here is actually make 2 half double crochets so that we get a little bit of a ribbon effect, you know, kind of like a slant. So let's see, we got one, and then put one more right in that same stitch. Okay, and we are not going to continue with the white, we are actually going to pick up our yellow. So don't finish that stitch, pull the yellow through all 3 loops. And now I'm going to chain up one, we are going to flip our work, and I'm going to make 2 half double crochets in the very first stitch right here. Okay, so we are continuing that little slant. So 1 and 2. And then we are going to make 1 half double crochet in each of these stitches all the way down until we reach our front panel again. So I'm going to continue doing this, and once we get back to the front panel, I will meet you there. And we are all the way back down to our front panel again. So I'm actually going to continue with this yellow all the way until this second white checker, I guess, just because I want to. So I mean, you guys can change color again right here if you want, but I don't want to. So I'm not gonna. Alright, so we just half double crochet in. Ooh, and now it's time to switch color. So we're gonna do that. Alright, so I don't know, I just like the way that this kind of looks. It's kind of gradient, I guess. It doesn't matter. But all we are going to do down this row is continue to alternate until we get to the very end. So once I'm at the end, I will meet you guys back. Alright, so I just finished doing my last row and I have now completed my front panel. So now what we are going to do is attach the front panel to the back panel right here. But before we do that, we are going to need to make a little bit of a side to connect together both of these. So what I am doing is I'm going to make some more checkers on this front panel right over here. And I'm going to make them about 1.5 inches wide to give me some more space for the top. Now it's going to depend on your size if you want to add more checkers to your side or less checkers to your side. This is going to be kind of a trial and error, but I will do my best to put some more information in my blog post to help you guys with this measurement. So what I'm going to do now is stick my hook back in there. And I am going to now chain up 1. So like I said before, we are going to be making checkers all the way down this side of our front panel, but I am only going to do it about 7.5 inches up my whole front panel. So that's going to be about 12 checkers up. And I did this kind of by taking my tape measure. My front panel is about 16.5 inches long, so I pretty much just multiplied 16.5 by 0.45 or 45%, so I'm going just a little bit less than half of the way up of our front panel. So again, more description will be in the blog post, you guys. I can't explain everything here, otherwise the video is going to be like 1.5 hours long. So anyways, what I'm going to do now is after we've chained up 1, we are going to make 3 half double crochets in each color all the way down until I've reached my measurement, which is 7.5 or 12 total checkers. So I'm going to place 1 half double crochet here in the first half double crochet, and then 2 and 3. So I'll yarn over, insert into the first half double crochet space. That will be 1. Then I'll insert right here, 2, and then right here as well, so 3. Then we're going to change our color back to white and continue doing that same thing. So 1, 2, and then 3. So I'm going to continue doing this until I have reached my measurement of 7.5 or 12 checkers up. So once I get back to the end of this row, I will come on back and show you how to finish up these sides. Alright, so I am back down at the very end of my row 1 for this side piece. So now what I am going to do is change color. So we will yarn over and pull through, and then chain 1 and flip our work. So now what I'm going to do is what we've been doing previously, which is alternate checkers. So that means I'm going to yarn over, insert into that very first stitch, and make my first yellow checker. And then what I'm going to do after that is done is pick up my white, and we are going to switch. So I am just going to do this all the way down, just alternate all the way down. And this is all we're going to do for our side piece. So we'll just continue with the normal checker pattern. So for row 3, I would repeat row 2 to complete my checker. And then for row 4, you would change color at the very end to get the alternating effect. So I'm going to do this for a total of 5 rows, which is going to equal 1.5 inches for me. So once I'm back at the end of my 5th row, I'll come on back and show you how to connect the front and back panel. Alright, and as you can see, I have just finished doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows of the little checker pattern. And if I measure that out, it is just about 1.5 inches. So now we are finally ready to move on to attaching the front and back piece. This is going to be really simple. So I'm just going to continue with my white yarn, and what I'm going to do is chain up 1, and then we're going to flip our whole piece of work around. So let's get this ready. All right. So to connect these two together, what we're going to do is count up 12 checks on the back piece. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, or however many checks you went up, just count that so that you can get them lined up. So what we are going to do is just slip stitch all the way down to connect, okay? So what I did was I chained up 1, and what I'm going to do is just insert my hook into that first half double crochet space, and then also insert it into that very first stitch that I made on the side piece. So then I'm just going to yarn over, pull through both of those, and then pull through the loop on my hook. All right, and I'm going to continue doing that. So we will go into this next space right here. All right, find our second stitch on the side panel, and then slip stitch. Okay, go into the last one again, slip stitch. And I'm just going to continue slip stitching all the way down. And make sure that you're making 3 slip stitches in each of your checks to line up with the 3 stitches that are on the side piece. All right, and that is the only thing that we are going to do to connect these together. So I'm going to continue doing this, and once I'm at the end, we will finally be done with our first front panel. All right, I'm at the very last stitch. So let's go into the top right there, find the last stitch on the opposite end, and then finish our last slip stitch. Now all we're going to want to do is chain up 1. I need to find my scissors. Oh, there they are. We'll chain up 1, cut off a bit of a tail so that we can weave it in later, and then pull right through. And definitely double knot this as well, just to make sure it's secure. And so we are also going to cut off the end of this opposite yarn as well. Again, I'm still leaving a bit of a tail to weave in at a later time. All right, so this is what our first front panel is going to look like, okay? So as you can see, this is our seam right here. And what we'll do is just flip it inside out once we are done with everything. And then the seam's gonna be nice and even. So what we are going to do now is create our second panel right here, and as you can see, I've kind of already started, so sorry about that, guys. But all you're going to do to start your second panel is just attach the opposite color yarn at the very end over here, and then continue along this way and repeat everything that we just did for this front panel onto this panel as well. So once you are done with both of your panels and you have them both connected, come on back and we will start with part 3. All right, so we are finally on to part 3, where we are going to add our sleeves and this white border. So as you can see here, oops, sorry about that. As you can see here, we are adding these 2 sleeves right here and then a white border that goes all the way around our top just to give it a nice finish. So let's get started. All right, so we are finally on to part 3, which is going to be our sleeves. So I have already gone ahead and attached my white yarn to just any random stitch over on the right hand side of our side piece. So go ahead and do that. I just attached it with just a normal knot, but I would actually double knot this for some extra security. So for our first round for our sleeve, what we're going to be doing is kind of bringing in this armhole a little bit. So I'm going to insert my hook into the same space that I just made that knot, and then I'm going to yarn over, pull through, and chain up 1. And also for our first round, we are not going to be alternating colors. We're just going to be using white the whole entire time. So for me personally, for this sleeve, I am going to be alternating between 2 and 3 half double crochets in each of our little checkers here. So all the way around we're going to be alternating, except for our side piece right here. So for my side piece, I'm going to put 2 half double crochets in each of these checker spaces, and then 1 right here in our kind of half checker. So let me show you how we're doing that right here. So I'll yarn over, insert into that first half double crochet space. I'll make 2 to start off with, yarn over, insert into the next one. All right, and then we're skipping down into our side piece. So I kind of skip over this part right here. So I'm going to insert, yarn over, pull through. And the reason why I'm doing less stitches in this side piece right here is to try to bring the armhole together and make it more of a circle rather than kind of an awkward like rectangle. I don't know. So then we're going to place 2 more in the next checker space. 1 and 2. And then 1 last one in this kind of half checker right here. All right, so once we are done with this side piece, we are going to continue our 2 and 3 half double crochet pattern all the way around this first round. And if you want to make your armhole a little bit bigger, then I would suggest just making 3 half double crochets in each of your checker spaces. But it's gonna kind of just be trial and error depending on your arm circumference, your arm size. I don't know what to say. So anyways, I'm gonna go into this white checker right here with, again, 2 half double crochets. So 1 and 2. And now I'm going to go with 3 half double crochets in this yellow checker. So I'll do 1, 2, and 3. All right, we're going to switch back to 2. So 1, 2, and if you see this white end that I've been weaving in, that's just from my previous side seam. So you can weave in that end as well with me. All right, now we're back onto 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And we are just going to keep alternating. So this will be 1 and 2. Going to keep alternating between 2 and 3 half double crochets per checker all the way around until you get back to the very beginning. So I will finish up this first round and meet you at the end. All right, so now that we are back at the beginning, we are going to slip stitch into that very first half double crochet that we made. All right, and that is the end of round 1. So what I would suggest is going and trying this on first to see if you like the size of the armhole, and if you want it bigger or smaller, then just adjust depending on the size that you would like. So now what it is time to do is start our checkers and start our sleeve. So what I'm going to do is yarn over, chain up 1, and then we're going to be doing the checkers the exact same way we have been doing before. So we will start off with white. I will yarn over, insert back into that very same stitch. So 1, 2. All right, on our third one we are going to change color, so don't finish that stitch. Pick up your other color again, then yarn over and pull through all 3. Let's get that. All right, and then 3 yellow half double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. And we are going to continue alternating between yellow and white all the way around our second round. So I'm going to continue doing that. We are not doing any more increases or decreases for the rest of this sleeve as well. So just keep doing that straight around until you get back to the very beginning. So once you're back there, I will meet you and show you how to do round 3. All right, and I am now back at the beginning of round 2, and as you can see, I didn't make this armhole in multiples of 3, so it's a little bit off in terms of the pattern, but that is totally fine. All I'm going to do now is slip stitch into the very first half double crochet stitch like we had done previously. So let's get in there, yarn over, pull through. And then I'm going to chain up 1 and continue with my checkers all the way around, yet again in the same color. So I will insert into the same stitch. 1, 2, 3. Then we will switch color again. So again, I'm going to continue with the same colors all the way around. Alright, so I am back at the very end of round 3, and as you can see, I have not finished my last stitch, and that is because we are about to change color again to start our alternating checkers. So I'll yarn over and pull through all 3 to change color, and then once you have that, you want to slip stitch into the very first half double crochet like we've been doing. Alright, then we will chain up 1 and continue to do the same thing that we have been doing pretty much throughout the whole entire top. So I'll yarn over, insert into the very first stitch. So 1, 2, and 3. Now we're going to change color. And then we're just going to be alternating all the way around for round 4 as well. So once we're done with round 4, we are going to just slip stitch and then repeat round 4 for round 5 as well. So we are just going to be repeating our checkers until we have 4 rounds of these checkers in total. And when I say 4 rounds, I mean 8 rounds in total, but 4 rounds of these completed checkers. So we're going to continue alternating them until you have 4 rounds, like I just said. So once I am done with this, we will come back and then we will finish off our sleeve. So as you can see, I have just finished doing the 1, 2, 3, 4 completed rows of checkers, or 8 rows in total. So now the last thing that we are going to do with this sleeve is start the very last stitch first. Okay, and then we are going to change to white, pull through. We're going to complete this round with a slip stitch. And now we are going to chain up 1 and place 1 single crochet in each stitch around this very last round. So we are just going to continue with white all the way around to give it a white trim. So all you're doing is placing 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way around. So I will meet you guys back at the end of this round. Alright, so I'm at the very last stitch here, so we'll place 1 more single crochet. And now what we're going to want to do is slip stitch in that very first single crochet stitch. Alright, so now we're going to chain 1 and grab our scissors. And then we are going to cut a little tail so that we can weave that in later. Alright, I'm also going to cut off a little tail for the yellow as well, because I wove the yellow in around that white trim. So after we've done that, I'm just going to pull through and pull tight. Again, I would double knot for extra security. Alright, so that is our sleeve, guys. What we're going to do now is I'm going to flip it around the right way. So what you are going to do now is repeat all of these same steps on the other side of your top. So do exactly what we did for this sleeve over on the other one. And once I am done with my other sleeve, I will come on back. Okay, so I have just finished my other sleeve right over here, and I have woven in all of my ends on these sleeves. So after you are done with this, we only have one more thing to do before this wrap top is complete. So all we're going to do is make a single crochet border in white all the way around the edges of our top, just so that it matches the trim on our sleeve right here. So to do this, you are going to take your right strap, and when I say right, this is looking face down flat at this. All right, and at the very end of your strap, you are going to attach your yarn with just a double knot in any of these stitches right here. So let's get that focused. All right, I'm going to then insert my hook and then yarn over and pull through a loop and then chain 1. So now we are going to be making single crochets. So I'm going to place 1 single crochet in that same stitch. I'll place 2 single crochets in this next half double crochet space. 1 and 2. All right, I'm going to place 1 single crochet right here. Sorry, it keeps going out of focus. 1 single crochet right here. And then we want to do 3 single crochets in this corner stitch, or this very first stitch right here. So 1, 2, and 3. And we're doing this just to create a corner. Then we're going to go back down this strap with 1 single crochet in each stitch. So just like so. And you are going to continue to make 1 single crochet in each of these stitches. Here, let's focus this back in. So we're going to do 1 single crochet in each stitch all the way down this strap. And you're going to continue making 1 single crochet all the way down this bottom edge until you reach your side piece. And you're going to make 3 single crochets in each of these checkers right here in the half double crochet spaces. Then we are going to reach the back portion. So we're going to make 1 single crochet in each of the chain spaces on the back panel. Then we're going to hit the side piece again. So 3 single crochets in each of these checker spaces. And then 1 single crochet in each of these stitches all the way until we reach this end again, where we will be making 3 single crochets in this corner, 3 single crochets in this corner, 2 single crochets, 1 single crochet, and then we're going to make 1 single crochet in each of these chains all the way down this strap until we finally reach the increase right here. So until we reach the front panel right here, we're just going to continue doing what I just said. So once I'm done with that, I will come back and show you guys how we're going to single crochet on these increases. Okay, so I am all the way back at this point right here. We are about to go up the increase. And as you can see, this is what the bottom is looking like, just like this. So now for our increases, let me flip this over to the side. So for our increases, what I'm going to do is with each of these little checkers right here, we're just kind of going to make 3 single crochets in each of our checker spaces. But as you can see, sometimes there isn't a full checker. Really, it's just kind of placing single crochets wherever you feel necessary up here. So I'll just kind of show you what I'm doing really quick. Let's get that in focus. So I'll make single crochet here, 1, 2, 3. As we can see, this isn't actually a full checker right here. This needs to be more in focus. And as you can see, like, this isn't a full checker right here, so I'm just going to place 1 single crochet here. So it's not a science for the border. I'm just kind of placing these single crochets wherever I feel necessary. You just want to continue making this so that it looks cohesive. There's not any like giant gaps in it or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is continue to do this all the way up the increase, and we're just making single crochets all the way around until we get back to our strap right here, and then we will finish our single crochets right where we started over here. So once you are back at this point right here, I'll come back and show you how to finish this off. Alright, I have just finished doing the whole border and we've come up to the very beginning again. So all I'm going to do is slip stitch into that very first stitch we made. We'll chain up one, grab our scissors, leave a little bit of a tail to weave in later, and cut. Alright, then we're just going to pull that through and pull tight. Alright guys, this is it. We are finally done with our wrap top. Alright everybody, it is giveaway time. So by entering, you guys are going to win 10 skeins of this Paintbox Cotton DK yarn in whichever shade you prefer. Now there are 3 requirements to entry. So number 1, make sure you are subscribed to my channel, Brittany Alice Crochet, if you aren't already. Number 2 is to comment down below what you would do with this yarn if you were to win. You don't have to make this wrap top, so I'm just putting that out there. You can make whatever you'd like. And number 3, go over and check out Lovecraft's YouTube channel by clicking the Gleam link in the description box down below. If you love fun, colorful crochet and craft videos, then subscribe to them as well. Their content is really fun, so I know you guys are going to enjoy it. Now, make sure you guys do all 3 of these things because I will be checking, okay? So I'm watching you guys. Make sure that you do them. The giveaway is going to run for 2 weeks from today, the 27th of April, all the way until the 11th of May. So you guys have all of that time to do all 3 of these requirements to enter. I'll be announcing the winner in my video on May 11th, so please be sure to turn on the bell notifications so you guys get notified when that video comes out, and I'll also announce it in my Instagram stories just to make sure that the winner knows who they are. So if you guys did enjoy this tutorial, please be sure to like, comment, share, and of course subscribe. I make weekly crochet content over here on YouTube as well as on my blog, which I will link down below as always. Follow me on Pinterest, Instagram, and Facebook for more daily crochet content, and especially Instagram if you want some more behind the scenes stuff. That is going to be all for this tutorial today, guys. I'm so excited to be hosting this giveaway, so please make sure to enter. With that being said, I will see you guys in my next video.